You're watching BATV, bringing Brookline home.
Just like Michael Jackson coming up through the stage and on the Thriller tour. You remember. Classic stuff, doing classic stuff here. You don't even know what you can do on cable access, do you? You don't even know. So I'm here to tell you, hosting with you, one-man show once again, Mike Phelan O'Toole. Stare down with the camera. We're talking about, if you know me, you know that we have a lot of different projects going on. We got, we did the Experimentally Ill shows, and we got that whole kind of clique of folks. And we're talking about the latest film from D.L. Polanski. It was 1254, half a dozen of the other. It may be called Globe Shaker now. So this is like breaking news coming out on the Dispatch. inside jokery and tomfoolery and just complete utter nonsense of me like never ceasing to shut up. And that's what I love to do with you guys and gals. Sexy guys and gals on the show here. And we're in the studio again, kicking it at the station. And if you're in the Boston area checking this out, you know that we've been dealing with a bunch of flooding lately going on because there was like a ton of rain. There was like 3 straight days of rain, like all through the night. And man, it was hell for me. Being a being a bohemian pedestrian, I'm like, ricocheting in and out of the sidewalk here, slipping and sliding with all the rain and stuff, and I was just soaked, and I had to like wring all my clothes and stuff out, and just it was brutal. And one of the things I did, I hit the red line. What I wanted to say is, problems coming here to the studio tonight. There were floods here. There was like a sinkhole thing, and so the taking the subway myself, which I do often, you couldn't go inbound and head on to Brookline Hills. So I could not directly reach 46 Tappan Street, Brookline, Massachusetts, where this program is being taped right now. I couldn't reach the studios here. I had to take a shuttle to the Riverside, Reservoir Station, and I took that, we took the shuttle from Newton Highlands, connected onto the Riverside Station, waited there like an ass for 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes, waited for the subway to get there. The Riverside D train gets there, pulls up, and I get on. Everybody piles in like a bunch of lemmings, and you get crammed in, and you're in there checking out all the hot girls and guys, all the cool young people and crazy older people and just weird folks that constantly ride the public transportation avenues we have, myself included. Always weird people, like weird folks ride the bus, man. You gotta wonder about those folks who ride the bus. It's me included. I ride the bus. So we rocket on down the way to finally get to, you know, the Brookline Hills stop. I pop out, got my Jolly Roger backpack, bunch of skulls on there. I go and I head on into BATV, where we tape this show, and I'm here. Usually we have a crew of students here learning about, you know, studio production 101 with Lauren Solly teaching. And they're not here tonight because they actually washed away. They actually, like, they were on the way and just gradually were kind of picked off. You know, they were like eliminated, like natural selection. And due to the brim of charisma that I behold within myself, my every orifice just oozing with intensity, I survived, and we got Lauren Solly and we got D.L. Polanski in the control room tonight. And so that's how we roll, as they say, as the kids say, contemporary language. It's mad crazy, yo. So, you know, I try to cater to the urban market. And yeah. So as you can see, this show is a filter, a buffer for my insanity, and it's like a visual treat for you, like sights and sounds of just unbridled mania and sundry other delights of verbal fisticuffs. I don't know. Spoken word thing we do here, and just cool to be pumping these out, and getting them to you guys, whether you're checking it out on the old YouTube, or, you know, through the Facebook or the Twitter and stuff, and my site, the main one I, you know, push out now, pumping out, is mike-o'toole.net, and the other one, Phelan-O'Toole.com. And for the audio version of this ridiculousness, you know, throw it on your iPod, your Zune. What is a Zune? Well, it's you know, Zune as in you know, I wish I had an iPod, but I have a Zune. It's like the other one that was supposed to be popular. Your MP3 device, you have it, you can put stuff on it, and I'm trying to get to, I also have a podcast, and it's kind of like this, but it's just audio, and simplified, simple title, The Mike O Cast, me being Mike O, and my podcast, we smush it together. It's like a intermedia mixture of podcast Tom shenanigan foolery. So that's what it is, and you can listen mikeocast.blogspot.com. There's a link to that on mikeotoole.net. And yeah, just lack of sleep, and, you know, solitude here, sort of the firing line feel with the camera and stuff, brings about this, you know, energy here. So my, you know, purpose with this is to just provide a alternative to, you know, the traditional stuff that gets thrown out there. So it's like this little indie project, you put it together and you fling it out there. And being kind of a guy on a different sort of a bent creatively, it's always cool when you find something that you can relate to, that you connect with. Because for me, most of the time, like the title of the show, Solipsist, you know, solipsism. You know, I'm not totally, you know, like self-absorbed, but it's the idea of sort of when you're sort of, it's like being in the round, like theater in the round, where you are around people, you do relate to people, you try to relate to people, you try to communicate with them, but it's you sort of on the stage. And I think it was George Carlin who said, you know, nothing dramatizes the sort of face-off between, you know, loner and other people than the artist before the audience, so that's kind of what I do here. Is if I'm in everyday life, if I feel sort of isolated, sort of a loner type and not really connecting, or kind of turned off for whatever reason, through artistic stuff like this, I dramatize that sort of like struggle to connect, and rock and roll with people. So like just me here, but it's communicating with you guys. Hopefully you get something. We get some communication going, and it's just a way to share stuff, because you look at stuff now like Facebook, popular, MySpace, all that stuff. You look at the social networking sites that they're supposed to be in a way grounded. Of course, it's really in reality grounded in like advertising and marketing and all that stuff. But the angle is supposed to be grounded in communication and sharing with folks and kind of like communicating what's up with you. Keeping in touch with long lost folks at the click of a mouse or the push of a button. And to me, a lot of times, maybe it's just the age group I'm in, being a young guy. I don't know. But man, it's just one of my pet peeves. Being a fan of language, because as you know, we think. Most of the time we do. We think in language, so the quality of our thoughts and ideas can only, usually be as good as the quality of our language. So to me, when I see like on Facebook and stuff, the status updates of just like in capital letters, great day. Like or there's that. Then there's also usually get like the nondescript sort of, it's like a song lyric that they pulled. And I'm guilty of, I quote a lot of stuff on, the status updates, Twitter updates and stuff. But I always quote it, and I always try to attribute who said it, where it originated from. And the stuff that I see from most kids is like, it's like half a song lyric, and you don't even know where it's from. And I mean, like, not even 9 times out of 10, like 9.5 times out of 10, it's not original. And that's just disappointing to me. It's like, it's just as kind of a writer type, not a writer type, a writer, one who writes, communicates via the written word, a fan of language and all that stuff. It's just disappointing. Like to be, to dial it down for a minute. It's just lame to me. Like all these kids quoting song lyrics of just stuff, other people's stuff they pull off. I mean, no wonder, there's a big, young audience for like, music artists and stuff, and just kind of like salivating over these lyrics and certain like poetic devices and stuff. And every once in a while you have somebody who'll throw together their own poems and stuff, and that bad teenage poetry stuff you always get. But I got to applaud that just on in the spirit of promoting arts, among not just young folks but folks in general, as a way to kind of like leave your stamp on stuff and share with people. But yeah, just like in basic terms, man, it's like weak to me. Like you pull like half of a song lyric that, well, this relates to what I'm feeling, and this band, I understand this band and they understand me, and it speaks to me. And I just can never understand why they can't just speak for themselves. And I can completely understand, finding someone else who's out there, more, who you can relate to and vibe with, and like championing them. But to constantly rip the writing and never have a morsel of your own idea pushed out there. Like I write all types of weird stuff on online and on paper. I'm trying to get back to doing like paper journaling. Like I carry a notebook with me in my bag, my skull adorned bag, because it's just I would get this moment of inspiration where I had some time to kill, in between, waterlogged subway rides or something, and I would just get, that muse or zeitgeist or whatever would, come barreling down the pike, would hit me in the face and be like, I gotta write something, I gotta create. And so I've been trying to do like some journaling, just if nothing like artistic kind of comes to mind, to just write regular stuff, the comings and goings of daily existence and contention in the modern world. Whatever I'm up to, thinking about and all that stuff. I try to get back to that. But the internet and computers and stuff, to me, especially with the proliferation of the social networks and stuff, it's supposed to be about communication. And what's weird, I think, Facebook seems to be more popular or in use than Twitter. And I see a lot of folks thinking, well, what is with isn't Twitter just the Facebook status? And ironically, on Facebook, you can write a lot more stuff than Twitter will allow you to. Twitter is sort of the SMS or the text message sort of the internet, or that's what they're trying to be. So you got 140 characters to shoot your wad, whatever, if you will. Oscar Wilde wordplay there, and write out your thing and what you're doing, what's happening. And communicate. And the irony is that, to me, what I see is a lot of sharper folks and stuff, pumping out stuff on Twitter as opposed to Facebook. Like Facebook has the great day stuff or the fragmented song lyric thing, or it's like, I don't need to know your daily schedule. I'm doing this from 9 to 2. It's like, well, good for you. I'd rather know, how you're feeling about that, or what's going through your mind about that. Something that's inside, bring it out. You know what I mean? Anybody can say, you did X, Y, Z, you bought fruit or something, but give me an anecdote or something with that. I don't know. Give me something. Something real. Because we're all kind of stuck inside our own heads, trying to contend with everyone else. And so that brings it back to the title, Solipsist, solipsism. Being one person, one mind, trying to contend, trying to take what's inside and push it out. Hence, dispatch, solipsist, dispatch, pushing it out, pumping it out. Here's my dispatch to you. And it's sort of this SOS type thing where you push it out there and people check it out. Cool. If not, well, hey, at least I did it. Kind of bums me out, all these kids dying off young. Like folks I grew up with. What did he do? He drank one too many Coors cans, and now he's no longer with us. That's the conclusion you come to when just somebody drops dead. Like I had succession of all this death and destruction in my high school years. And it was a bummer to me because I wanted to be high school, man. I was being into TV now and being into media and kind of the performance-y type. And I would see stuff, the depictions of high school on, popular television at the time. Man, you had it's friggin' Saved by the Bell and stuff, I figured I was gonna get, upon the privilege of entering high school, I was going to get to be like Zach Morris, man. I was going to get to do monologues to the camera and kind of like this. And so I was, and that's kind of how I came back to, I actually get to do the monologue at the camera now, hey. And timeout, you see, it doesn't work. You see, it doesn't, Zach Morris would do the timeout, time in thing. Everyone would freeze. You come to find out that doesn't work in real life. Not only does the things like devices like that not work in real life, you come to find out high school is not all lollipops and BJs. Well, some BJs, not lollipops. They'd be like pot lollipops, not candy. Just a lot of drugs and literal death is what I found. Not my own death because I'm still here. Yes, but oh man, it's like this is like ridiculous because the other depiction actually of the high school life, the young life, is sort of the death, drugs, destruction stuff. And I was when you see those kind of movies, whatever, like the movie of the week or whatever it was, where at the end sort of this anti-drug PSA movie, squeaky clean, tied up, like Tom Selleck stars, whatever, I don't know what I'm talking about. I go too far, too deep into these ballads sometimes. But you see like the high school death movie, don't do anything because everything is dangerous kind of movie, and you'd be like, well, that's way over the top. There's no way it's like that. And you come to find out, it is actually like that, and sometimes it's worse, Kids sniffing glue, dropping dead, popping out of the front seat of their car, losing their head. Kids stopped over my house, hung out in the garage, rocketed away. I come to find out, it was like a friend of a friend situation. Come to find out, whatever, that another party, they drink, they drive, get decapitated, regular high school fare at the time. And this is like at a time where you're trying to like define your identity and stuff and how you fit in. Where solipsism is at a supreme level, except no, because you're looking at other people, you believe other people are with you and frame how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to live. So when other folks are, digging themselves an early grave, you tend to follow somehow, And I just learned early on that stuff was not my thing, and that it would become a strength to abstain from, tasting the dirt of an early grave, so to speak. So back to fun stuff. Back. I am Mike Headroom, speaking to you through the airwaves. The airwaves belong to the people, and big old fun times, good time, happy, yes, to be had with not only cable access but cool stuff like improv comedy. Had a great class. I was starting to tell you about it. I took the Red Line on to Cambridge, cool artsy scene in Cambridge, and I went there and I reunited, and it feels so good. I reunited with my chums at Ye Old Improv Boston, which if you follow me, I've been training there since July, and have come to connect with this really cool bunch of folks. Not only the regulars there who are supportive of new folks like myself, but fellow students, and thankfully, it's not. I mean, if you're one of these people, right on, go for it. But thankfully, it's not just folks who are like, well, I want to try this, comedy thing just, for kicks and giggles and stuff. Like they're really into it, and they're dedicated, and they're talented, and they're willing to experiment, and not everything is perfect all the time. But when it works, and it's this really like orgasmic experience to me. It's like really intense. It's like that's where the manic energy comes in. And you get to put it to good use, There's this theater community that like fosters all that stuff, and so I don't want to date the show too much, but it's just been really intense to me. That's the word I keep coming back to. It's just intense, and it's like this really like team thing. It's like a rock and roll band, man, and it's like rock and roll intensity. And I know connotation, as I've said, connotation is everything. So to say it's like a rock thing is kind of, but that's what it is to me. It's like this whole like the pre-show jitters, like I did the spoken word thing back in January there, and I just know we got our grad show coming up for level 3, and just really intense. I've been like laughing at a bunch of crap from the last class we had, and it's just really great, man, when you can come together. Because it's so unique, man. It's like, with your powers combined, I am improv man, Captain Improv. Because everybody kind of has their own different style and approach. But it's this real special intelligence I've found. Not to like toot my own horn, but everybody kind of brings it. And there are folks who are kicking my ass in comedy, improv, picking up and connecting different things together and building a scene. And our instructor there, Will Luera, who is really cool, knows his stuff. He let us in. He says, improv is like it's like driving a car while looking in the rearview mirror. So you're going forward, but you're looking back the whole time. If you know where you're going, you're doing it wrong. So to pre-think it too much. So it's just, I just remember seeing stuff like the SNL sketches. SNL to me has been weak for a lot of years, and and I remember early on thinking like improv comedy was sort of like cheesy or it would be stupid, and then you come to find out it is this really interesting craft. So that's kind of like a metaphor for coming together and just like spilling your guts, like taking these risks. And when you have a community of folks who are supportive of that, you're like, wow, this is going to bring, legitimacy to my insanity. Yes, I can make something with this. So, and that's, similar to this show too. I'm always I'm like a cable access evangelist, trying to get new crew in here to learn about how to utilize the airwaves. Because George C. Stoney and Red Burns would be down with this. And they're known as the fathers of cable access, if you will. They've been called that. And so, I've done my research, and I was like really into the whole thing and the tech aspects of it, rocking the camera, editing, and all this stuff. And I realized, it's time to put my money where my mouth is and get in front of the camera. And so over the years, it's just been getting closer and closer and closer. And now just average, run-of-the-mill stuff, TV shows, rocking the mic on stage. And so with that in mind, I'm going to keep going with it. So thank you guys, and I hope to see you guys again here and out and about. All right. Thank you.